Hi, Mr. Bielek. How are you today?
Okay.
This is Tracy. Do you remember when we talked yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think maybe now would be a good time for us to discuss a few things?
Yes. It's okay.
I'll get right into it. I guess the first thing I would want to say is I didn't realize how deep this went until I really started researching it. And some of the things...
Yes, it does.
It's amazing. And thus it took me a while to be able to, feel comfortable to call you because there's just so much information out there. So I wanted to go ahead and maybe talk a little bit about the Philadelphia experiment, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Myself and my partners, I have a couple partners, Bo and Marcus, that's how much is out there. It took 3 of us to get some questions together for you, and I appreciate their help. I'm a little confused about one thing, though. Back in 1943, when the Philadelphia experiment took place, was that in August, or was that in October, or was it both?
Actually, it's both.
And then moving on to the Montauk Project, was that a continuance based off of ideas, events of the Philadelphia experiment?
No.
Okay, I see. Can you maybe tell the people who might want to hear this or would possibly read about it, what you might say? Could you tell them maybe a little bit about what the Montauk Project entailed? What was their main goals?
Well, the Montauk Project was a totally separate project. Ran by a friend of mine who was an engineer and a physicist on the side. And that took a lot of work also to get it to work right. But involved in about people here, and a lot of people with the Montauk Project, including aliens, who helped to solve some of the problems. And why they came in on it raised me that question. I did not understand why we had any group working in Montauk, but they were. Montauk Project was very successful because of alien help, which friendly to us. They helped us solve the problem.
What about the Montauk Boys? A little bit about them.
Boys?
Yeah.
That was a cool story. Well, the fact that a lot of Montauk boys were involved with Preston Nichols as part of the experiment, and they were involved in many levels. They were human, but the project was very involved. Go to many phases. Many parts of it, Montauk Project, were not understood by anyone.
When it comes to interfacing people's minds with computers, was Montauk able to accomplish that goal?
What they were doing. Accomplish what?
Possibly computers picking up on what their minds could be thinking, making that a reality, a thought, a reality, which happens to be one of my questions, actually, if I can find it.
Well, it's so complex that
I could only imagine.
a full lecture, otherwise, require a full lecture to explain what was going on with the Montauk Project. It was not a simple project. There were many people, many aspects, and maybe someday we're going to do more of the exposure of the Montauk Project and we're really involved.
Can you help me to understand, when I read that some of the Montauk boys were lost forever, quote unquote, because of this project, possibly because of the fear that it generated, when I read lost forever, does that mean mentally, physically? I mean, what became of them?
Well, I cannot say for sure that the assumption or the statement regarding the Montauk boys went through a phase of fear. Yes, they could have. Well, the fact that some of them were lost was the physical factors, not their mentality.
Let's see. Did they ever have family members maybe ask, what did happen to my child?
Well, that family members did, but the whole thing was so scrambled up and messed up. You cannot say for sure what the family connection really was, or if it had any effect on the outcome. It could well have. But to this day, there are a lot of parts of the Montauk project that were never resolved, never fully understood at all.
To this day, that is wow. Do you think there's any aspects, tentacles of the program going on elsewhere? Some of the technology created there, maybe used still today?
There was technology created, yes.
Do you think it's still used? Do you think it's still used
How it
today?
affects today, I'm not sure, I'm not clear. The person who can answer that question better was Preston Nichols. He was one of the primary members of the Montauk project. And he knew more answers than you and I put together.
Right. Do you still keep in touch with Preston, or?
Yes, I am.
That is really cool.
He's living upstate New York now.
Upstate New York.
When his parents died, he sold the house and bought another one upstate New York. And that has been his home ever since.
How about Duncan Cameron, Stuart Swerdlow? Are you still in contact with them? Especially Duncan Cameron. Do you ever keep in touch with him?
And what was that about? Preston Nichols?
I was wondering how Duncan Cameron was doing. Do you think he's doing okay? Do you ever get to talk to him or anything?
Yes, I do. Preston Nichols is surviving quite well.
That is cool.
He has his home up there, and he has his lab up there. And the kids continue to do work now and then for the radio stations in the area. He's a radio engineer.
Oh, radio engineer.
And he continues to do that kind of work.
It's just the more that I read about Montauk, the more interested I became. So I just really am fascinated with it. And you know what? I'm just wondering, how long do you think that it continued? I mean, as far as you know.
The project goes on in a sense. It was never totally cut off.
Wow.
It's still functioning in its own way.
I see.
But only Preston Nichols could tell you what is going on now.
I have a question about the chairs, the Montauk chairs, and I understand there were two of them. When the second chair was made, whatever happened to the first chair?
I don't know how to answer that question. I don't have my address book in front of me, or I can give you his phone number.
Oh, that's okay.
Living upstate New York.
Okay.
but I don't have his phone number.
That's okay. That's okay. Stuart Swerdlow, what was his involvement with the Montauk Project, and why him?
Stuart Swerdlow, yes, I know him. He was involved with part of the project.
Right.
He did not know the whole project.
What was his involvement? What did it entail?
I cannot give you a straight answer on that, because I don't know now what part he was involved in.
I understand that. I mean, but what I was wondering what made him so special? Why was he chosen versus anybody else?
Well, he was involved with the project, but not as much as President Nichols. Stuart Swerdlow tended to blow up his part and make it larger than it was.
And when it came, just one more question about the Montauk boys. I mean, when it came to them, did they fully understand the risk involved when they participated?
No, they did not understand much at all.
I would like to maybe read you a quote, if it's okay. I found this while reading, and here's the quote. It says, "A psychic would lay in the chair, go into the trance, and a group of coils picked up the emanations. A bank of radio receivers designed by Tesla would pick up, digitize the thought, turning that thought into computer."
Tesla did a lot of interesting work.
Well, they were talking about when someone
I don't know what. He's all dead.
So when they say that a radar tower was used to turn a thought into reality, is that the case? I mean, are we talking Bigfoot materializing right there in the room, for example? When it came to the chairs?
I can't answer that question right now because I don't know enough about what Tesla did. I followed a lot of his work, but I'm not fully conversant with what work he did. Tesla was a genius.
I mean, in my research, this seems like a concern to some people when they speak of mind control, possible even body control, control of moods. Is that a method that could be used on the general public through electromagnetic fields or radio frequencies? Do you think that's a concern that people should have?
Tesla did a lot of good work.
That's good to know.
Today, did not really understand what he did.